All right, so today we're going to work with Nick. Nick has ordered some 45.5s in the new CX333, and we've also got a pair of, notice I'm having to look at the boxes to make sure, 45s. All right, now these are in the regular width, which is now considered what used to be the wide. So just to confuse things more, standard, what used to be standard is now called narrow. Hello, Nick.
How's it going?
Going well.
I'm excited to try some of these on. So.
Yeah, let's see what we got here. So at a previous appointment, Nick was able to try on a pair of my 45s and a pair of my 45.5s, but they were in the narrow or standard width. Now, so this is one step up in the width, but the same sizes as far as length. So go crazy, whichever one you want first.
Hey, let's start with the 45s. I think those were closer, to what we wanted. Do you have some cardboard or something to put down on?
You know, that's a great thing that you asked.
Yeah,
would you mind holding that guy?
No problem.
Oh, that's where the lens is, but that's okay. Let me...
Yeah, because they got some carbon soles, so we want to keep them.
Yes, you are nice. Awesome for thinking of that.
Oh, those are very light. Nice.
Yeah, aren't they?
Awesome.
So yeah, I really do appreciate how thoughtful you were about trying to have...
So we don't want to
keep everything clean and keep everything...
soles.
Yeah, yeah.
There you go.
All right.
All right, cool. Let's unbox these babies.
Now these I did an unboxing of a 333, but I had to ship those away to a repeat customer. So this is the first pair that are actually in the shop, and that's why I wanted to shoot this video.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so we do have some insoles as well, but I'm going to just start by putting them on with just the standard stock insoles first.
Yes, sir. Let's try the stock ones. When is your next event that you wanted to be ready for?
So I'm racing the San Diego Gran Fondo on Sunday. Today is Thursday.
Oh, shoot. Yeah.
So, it's definitely a little, nothing new on race day, and we're getting a little close to that, but... we're going to run them today, and also for the next 3 days, just do some kind of shakeout rides and stuff. And
so do you think you might have some time then?
Yeah,
the next 3 days.
I definitely have time to get into them and stuff. And look, at the end of the day, if I need to, I can always swap everything back to the old shoes.
And those are the old shoes over there.
So got a 10-year-old pair of expert, I think Specialized Expert, Road Experts or something like that.
And tell the audience why you needed to get a new pair of shoes. What was going on? Yeah,
so probably a case of your foot getting a little flatter and a little wider over with age. So I have been noticing over the last maybe 5 years with those guys, they're fine for maybe 20 to 30 mile rides, but only without socks. They're a little short. And so I was noticing, and they were fine actually 10 years ago, but I'm noticing a little bit of tightness or a little too short in the toes. And then also, I've actually been working on kind of foot strength and stuff over the last couple of years, and that's also kind of widening out the toe box a little bit, or the forefoot.
Okay.
And so that's actually a big part of it too, is I'm starting to notice a lot of kind of soreness and tingliness, which is the shoe being too narrow around the forefoot. So
all right, so if we were to sum it up, then what we're looking for is for this shoe to ameliorate two things. One is length. You need a tiny bit more length, and two, to reduce the pinching.
Yep.
A classic scenario, really. So all right, so let's see what you got.
Yep. Sounds good. And also I have a narrow narrower heel and ankle kind of area. So that was the other thing, is I really want just a slightly wider toe box.
Right. So everyone wants the magic recipe of a narrower heel, wide toe box.
Well, that feels pretty good.
Does that?
Yeah. the other one on, but it's gripping the
heel
and the ankle
Yeah.
pretty nicely.
Yeah, there is a little bit of adjustment here when you get a when you heat. You can do a heat mold a little bit. So if it's not grabbing it enough, you can still dial it in a little bit more.
Yeah, and I probably would want to do that, but that feels pretty good. And there's definitely a lot of room in the toe and the 4-foot box.
Good.
So that looks good.
That's a really good start. One of my favorite moments in my shop is when, in this case, like shoes, and people are like, oh my God, these are so much better than what I'm riding. Or same thing with a saddle, when I make an adjustment on their saddle on the fitting stand. It's just, that's the kind of stuff that keeps me going, you know.
Yeah. Oh, these feel
in this job.
These feel really nice. Okay, so getting the heels back.
Yep.
Gonna tighten up the sort of midfoot first, and then we'll just get a little bit on the toes, but honestly that feels really nice.
You know, you sound like you totally took on board my advice on how to put on shoes.
Yep.
Yep, the first thing you do is kick your heel back, get that inside the heel cup, and then tighten up the one over the top, and then just gently secure the toe box area.
Yeah, those feel nice.
Yeah.
I think that's probably going to be it. I don't think we need to add any more length beyond that.
Yeah.
But yeah, what I was looking for, kind of compared to the sort of narrow width ones that we tried on with you, was making sure I felt like I had more room in the outer foot in the toe box, and that definitely, I don't feel like I'm running into the toe box right now.
So your pinky toe was the main issue, not your big.
It was like maybe the last 2 to 3 toes on the side a little bit. So like needed that wider toe box.
Yeah.
But that feels plenty of room right now. Obviously the feet will expand a little bit.
Yep.
But even so, like there's nothing. Yeah, that feels really nice.
Yeah.
And then plenty of room in the big toe area.
Yeah.
I don't think we need any more than that. But yeah, that feels pretty great.
So, but let's just try that 45.5 just to rule it out.
Totally.
But at the same time, something could be like, you know what? I do appreciate a little bit of extra room. So what's going to happen now is the 45. Let me look at the numbering here. So this is 283 to 286, and this one is 286.5. So at the top end to 290. But it's going to give you, I believe, 1 more millimeter or 2 of width, I believe, right?
I think it was like 110 versus 111 or something like that.
Right.
In the toe box width.
Yeah.
Let's see how these guys feel.
Now, nice attention to detail. You got that reflective heel. If you look back, that's kind of cool. You know, it's behind you, so you don't have to worry about it. It's always there. You know, low light visibility is important, especially on cloudy days. We get a lot of what we call May gray and June gloom, and those are 2 months where we get a lot of overcast for the first, I don't know, 2 to 3 hours of our morning, and then eventually it burns off by noon, and then comes back in the afternoon. So it's nice to have a little bit of that reflective stuff on you. Yeah.
And then the one other thing too I actually liked about these, which we talked about, but it's good to actually see in person now, is so these are CX, I think 333.
Yes, sir.
We tried on CX, I think a 400 series. That was yours, and also a 200. 400. I didn't need a like ultra top of the line, you know, race shoe, and this is a nice balance between that 400 and the 200. Of like, it does have a decent a bit more, you know, carbon than the 200 series. So it's a little bit more of a performance shoe, but like, that carbon plate is mostly on the bottom of the shoe. It doesn't really come up too high on the sides. Which in the 400 for me, I could feel that stiffer shoe being a little less comfortable for me in my sort of foot geometries.
Yeah.
The carbon is mostly just underneath the bottom of the footbed. So it's, for me, exactly where I wanted, where performance shoe, but not, looking to get the
So I'm going to bring the other shoe, because I brought it just for comparison's sake.
Oh, yeah.
So that the viewers could see what you're describing. And, of course, these are mine, so they're a bit dirty. But what Nick is describing is that for the 403 series, this carbon part comes all the way up and around. See that? Whereas on the 403, it just meets the sole and that's it. And then it just becomes more of a regular shoe. But you still have this support here. And then on the other side, is that where you were having the issues on the 400 series shoe? Was it here? I can't remember.
Yeah, now. I thought it was, I think it's that it has a little bit, let's see, so that's the outer shoe. Yeah, so there's a little bit less carbon, it looks like, potentially, or at least that carbon, actually, you can kind of see the carbon plate seems to, well, actually, I don't totally know what it looks like underneath, but these felt stiffer further up into the shoe body, especially actually in the instep,
arch area.
Yeah, so it feels like these have a little bit more compliance. On my left foot, at least, especially, I get sort of I have a lot of flexibility in it, in that sort of arch area, and so this feels more flexible where I need it. Than those, they're race spec, right? So they're much stiffer, much more power transfer, but it's a little less comfortable for me. I'm not,
Isn't that always the delicate balance?
Yeah, and I'm not setting any
bike frames, wheels, everything.
I'm not setting any records here, so I don't need the most highest end stuff, and I just want it to be comfortable while I, push hard.
And guess what? You represent the broader market segment, right?
Yeah.
The average recreational, the enthusiast, those are more that's the biggest portion of the market, whereas the race spec is not for everybody.
Okay.
Little trouble trying to get it open?
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. It feels like the boas are not coming out all the way on this one. Let's see.
Could you hold that guy from there? There it goes.
Oh, there we go.
Sometimes.
A little sticky on the
first round. And then it's probably going to be fine after that.
I was like, no.
There is one of my customers who, he's over on the East Coast and he wears BOA shoes. And I guess he gets them pretty seized up with dirt, mud, whatever. New York, Northeast is tough on BOAs, I guess.
All right, so once again, before we tighten them up all the way, get the heels in. And, okay, dial those down. And then just a little bit in the toe box. Okay. So these feel pretty good too.
Yep.
I can definitely tell there's more room. And I think, honestly, it's probably a little too much. There's like that line between feeling like you have enough room and feeling like you're wearing a little bit of clown shoes because they're a little too big. And I think we're like, in these, we've passed that line just a little bit. So I think that these are probably bigger than I need them to be.
Well, we just needed to rule them out.
Yeah. And they would probably be better for we're in Southern California, so we don't need winter shoes necessarily. But
if you had the thicker sock.
If I was back in Boston, I might go with something like this. For more of a closer to winter shoe with a thicker sock. But I think from here, this is probably more shoe than I need.
Cool.
So I think the 45s are the right call. But it was good to be able to see both of them and kind of put them back in the bag.
Now, I can't, for some reason I can't recall. Are we not going to use the insoles in those other shoes temporarily?
Yeah, I don't think we're going to use them right now.
Until you get a chance to mold.
Yeah,
custom
well,
ones.
actually, I might. Well, no, that's true. We can actually test these out. These are just some sort of. I think this is. What is this? I think it's just body geometry or something
All
like
right,
that.
so a specialized one.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's a specialized one. Yeah. So these have maybe like a little bit of a moldable, or maybe possibly semi-moldable, just like sort of plastic stiffener.
Yeah.
The ones we have over here are. I believe, yeah, it's got a carbon stiffener.
Yeah.
Also, these are definitely moldable. I'm not actually sure about these ones.
Okay. All right.
Actually, yeah, I think to begin with, just to start, then I'm going to put these in just to test. These are a 44 and a half, or cut to a 44 and a
Oh,
half.
that was, now I remember. Yeah, you
So-
said you didn't want the insole to slip around inside.
Yes, I definitely don't want it to slip. I'm going to try it at least, but I have a feeling it may pop back and forth a little bit. We'll see.
Sure.
If it doesn't, then maybe I'll start here. These are like I said, 10 years old, so
They don't look that bad.
They don't look that bad. It's probably I need to spend more time on the bike, but
I didn't mean that at
yeah,
all.
no, it's probably true though. But yeah, so we can just probably start here. I might just do it just because we're testing something so new, so close to such a long
need something that is
ride.
familiar, yeah.
Yeah, that I might try to just start with these and then switch over to those, and once we get those molded up. But yeah, let's okay, so we're definitely gonna go with the 45s. So
right.
we're gonna start there, and
Yep.
then let's see what I can do with
Let me see if it's hard to do with one hand.
No, it's
I'm
okay.
sorry.
I got this one. Okay, so these will go back into here. All right, yeah, so let's get some.
Now, just for comparison, I'd like you to just, when you get this guy out,
yeah.
I mean, these things are just so, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, there's just nothing to them. So if anyone is measuring the quality of the fit on a Lake shoe by its stock insole, you're not giving it enough of a chance. You got to get something nicer. And it could be any aftermarket insole, but you just need more support than this is going to provide. I can literally bend this like that.
Yeah.
So there's just nothing there. All right.
And I mean, if I had really flat feet, this actually might be what I want, but I generally have a decent arch, but it collapses a little bit under load. So that's why I generally put these. You can kind of see these are roughly the same size. So actually I might start, I mean, lengthwise, they're actually pretty good. You can see a lot narrower in here, but let's see what happens and go from there.
Let's see.
Okay, so we got a little bit of a heel pad. That's going to stay.
Oh, that's probably covering the access to the heel.
Nut. Yep, for the replaceable.
Cool. And some shoes don't come with the replaceable heel. And I see people walking around on shoes all the time. I cringe because I'd rather them just walk on the cleat itself.
10 years of burning through that. So.
Yeah. Because then, I mean, I had a pair of Bonds a long time ago, and I wore out the heel just from doing ultra cycling. You got to park your bike here, you got to walk over there. It's just, but yeah. Now I just make it a point to just walk only on the cleat. Wear that out. It's pretty cheap. Pretty easy to replace.
Except when you're running pre-Wahoo speed plays, so we'll see what I can do there as far as getting replacement parts. But
yeah, not my favorite pedal, but some people love them, so that's fine.
Okay, let's see. So I can tell off the bat these are definitely. Yeah, I mean, like these.
There's more support.
There's more support. It honestly might be too much here. So the other thing to, think about is like, I don't know how the two shoes compare as far as what the base or like the subfloor or whatever of them.
Yeah. Like what the arch support is without the
insole.
because
it feels like these right now maybe already had some, because it feels like whatever is in the it might be almost a little too much. We'll play around with it a little bit, but.
My first concern is I don't want to lose too much shoe volume. Yes. So that's why I want you to try those insoles on in the 45s, because you say, oh, these are great, but that was with the stock insole. Yep. And so if you go with a more robust insole, are you going to lose too much shoe volume in the length and in the width.
Yep. So let's see. Definitely feels pretty good on length and width. It took up a little bit more for sure.
Yeah.
But I think the bigger issue is not so much with the shoes, it's the bigger issue with the insole.
Yeah.
Is the insole is a little too high now, which probably meant that it was lower in those.
Yeah.
Because there's definitely a little bit of a pressure point, or it feels a little bit like a pressure point directly under the arch right here. So it's definitely, I mean, it's definitely to some extent doing what it's supposed to, which is add a bunch of
support.
It might be too much support at this point, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
So one of the other things, and we'll do this off camera because the video is getting kind of long and I want to make sure that people stick with it, is let's put those insoles in the 45.5.
Yep.
The most important thing for me is I don't want you to lose shoe volume in length and width, and maybe with the insoles in there we get an idea of, are they clown shoes or are they not clown shoes? All right. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please like and subscribe. I've got another shoe fitting coming up next week. Shoes will be in either today or tomorrow, but the gentleman's not available, so stay tuned for that. A gentleman with really, really wide feet. So that'll be an interesting video for you. And then I've got some other videos on the new Ritchie Montebello frame that just was released at Sea Otter, and a few other things. So please like and subscribe. We'll see you up the road.